going on, YouTube? So, we got a box. We got scissors. We're gonna see what we got.
Behold, my stuff.
And we don't need that. Our duotone Black Series. There's enough of a neck on this that I don't believe it has a stand. I think it's based on the Obi-Wan, but it's the same mold as the previous one. And a very nice paint, although I will say the paint is nicer on this one in terms of detailing. I had to go in and make this silver and do all this on my own. They did it for me on this, which is very, very nice. The lenses are red, which I love. And of course, there is this beautiful neck attachment, which is fantastic. As you guys know, it detaches and you get just the faceplate. On the inside is all that same great detail, which I'm gonna go in and paint and make it the way it appears in episode 3. So I did that on my last one. I did a video on it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But this mold is 100% the same as the previous mold. So is this. So these two pieces here, balls, these two pieces here are the same. This is what's different, and this is why I wanted this one. So first things first, look at the vocabulators. Those things stick up beautifully on this one. Much better than the last one. Next thing that's very, very different, you'll notice the neck comes down far more. Still does this. And that's because these two little holes, you'll notice the one on the left here has a little silver bit. When you stick the Vader helmet in there, there's a little nub here. These two nubs secure it in place, but this one pushes that activator down and switches it over to ask it to do a secondary sound. When the nub isn't pushed down, it does the strained breathing. When it pushes in, it does the secured breathing. The first reason I got this is because if you look at the bottom piece here, this is infinitely smaller than the Series 1. The reason it's smaller is because in ESB and ANH, that little triangle was very small, and then in Return of the Jedi, it was very big. And so the original helmet they gave us, the all black with this, that's very Return of the Jedi. The other thing that I love about this is that if I wear this, it actually will sit higher on my face, so when I'm in the Vader costume, this will look better. Sit on my face and tell me that you love me. We'll do that. We'll bring the other helmet up here. This is what's left of my OG Black Series. And you can see it has the damage. There's another piece that goes back here. This piece, I just have to literally plastic weld that on. I put it on temporarily with hot glue and I liked it, but I haven't secured it completely yet. So I gotta make that a thing. But this is the original helmet, and if I take this off, the way you're supposed to, so if I pull the entire backer off, this is the back neck piece, and if we compare it to the new one, you'll notice slight paint differences. Silver versus brass, things like that. Now I have to go back and watch ESB and see which way I want to do it, but that's an important distinction. Another distinction is, again, on this helmet, we're going to go over that in a second. We'll break all that down. So let's take this off the mannequin. I'm going to take the helmet piece off. It's still magnetic, still works. But let's take this off. Oh, come here, you bastard. This is actually a face piece for my silicone mask. And we'll reattach the neck piece on this. Now, the other cool thing is, I may not even have to repaint it. I may just swap the two neck pieces. If they are identical, it won't matter. So let's put this on, and let's put this on, just to show you. We'll look at the undamaged side. You can see they are the same upper sculpt. They are legitimately the same. But notice that the tabs, there's a little hint of brass to them, but it's really, they're silver. But where these, very distinctive gold color on all those little tablets and things like that. And so overall, it's the same mold, just a very different paint job. Now, this lens is a little red because I've gone in and sprayed that lens, as I've shown you in my video. whereas these lenses are purely red by design, which means if I put this on, you can actually see out the damn thing. Something else that I've shown you guys repeatedly is that I have modded this so that now he does the strained breathing regardless of the cap that's on it. But that's because I cut away the nub on the left side. Were I to take this new one, bastard, and stick it on this helmet, it attaches just fine, has a little bit of that ROTJ look, and it does the normal breathing now. So as you can see, the two pieces are interchangeable, so you can mix and match. I don't know why you'd want to unless you're doing what I'm doing, but you can, if you want. By the way, if you're wondering who this handsome devil is on my shirt, that's Brett from Brett's Groovy Chainsaws. If you don't subscribe to his channel, you might want to go check that out, particularly with Evil Dead Rise in theaters right now. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. You might want to see what he has to say about it. Now again, let's take a look at these bottom pieces. Let's put these off to the side for the moment. These bottom pieces, you can see already, look how that sits. Look how much higher this sits because that extra lip on the bottom. Look at the bottom square. See how much smaller that grill is. Look at how high those vocabulators sit versus the original ones. They weren't a great sculpt. They weren't super well done. So when I wear this, and I'll put it on really quick, the downside is it comes way down here. And so you want it up here, but it's down here. And there really isn't much that I can do about that because there's just so little to it. Let's see what this looks like on me. So I put this on. Look how much higher this sits on me. This is fantastic. See if I can profile. Oh, I'm old. So this is a much higher profile, which means that if you just wanted to wear this Vader helmet as part of a costume, this will sit on your head better. This is a much better helmet for that. Well, the reason it's so important is that your cutoff pieces on the Obi-Wan that I did will now correctly push your face. Notice it didn't make the securing sound because I cut that nub off. Now, it pushes your face right up into here. Now, when I put this on, I still can't see out of this eye for crap, but I took my glasses off. But you can see how it pushes my face right up into where everything should be because this is sitting so much higher. Even with the straps, it doesn't do that with the other neck piece. So now, if I were to, where's my thing? If I were to take this piece and put it over it, now I've got my Obi-Wan, my full Obi-Wan hacked up Vader look. Now I know that this doesn't have the duotone, and I could go in and accent this a little bit with some gunmetal, which I might do, just so it marries a little bit better. But I legitimately don't need this now. This is now an excess piece that I don't necessarily need. So the question becomes, what the hell do I do with it? Well, I'll tell you one thing that I do with it. I keep this, and I add it to my EFX that's coming in so that it has one. So that's the first thing that I do. As for the rest of this is parts. I may sell this, I may hold on to it for now, but I don't need it. So how do I display this going forward? I've got to get this thing off because I can't see anything. Let's actually let's take this off. Let's do some comparisons. So as I said before, I wanted to compare the upper pieces. Let's put this back on where it goes. These are backwards now. So let's get these out of here for a minute. So as I said, I went in and I had to paint the top of that thing silver because it was black. Whereas with this guy, it's already painted. Now the inner pieces aren't black, they're all silver, so it went from all black to all silver. I want the holes black, so I'm gonna have to put a wash on it. But the inner pieces on the head are the same. So, well, let's not show the cut up version. So these guys and these guys are identical. I will say this has a little bit more of a metallic sheen than these do. This one has a little bit more of like a faded gold look. This one actually has a little bit more of a copper look to it, which is kind of interesting. As I said, that rich gold here and here and then here is not prevalent on this. These aren't silver per se. There is a gold to it, but it's very, very washed out. It's very, very silver-esque. So I may go in and highlight that with some gold myself. Just to make that nicer. But one thing I did on this helmet, which you guys know, is I completely redid the inside so that all the really nice architecture they put in there is visible and is something that can display. So this may be the helmet that I display like that. and I go in and I replace this panel with the computer hard drive bits and things like that, and do that episode 3 style display. And then if I wanted to display a Black Series, I could do it. If I ever did some sort of a weird fan video where Vader would have to assemble or disassemble his helmet, I could switch back and forth between the Black Series and the EFX. The differences in the mold is minimal, but it would allow me to do the effects that I need to do. But overall, as I said, it's not really... Again, you could put the OG on the Obi-Wan, and it'll still do exactly what it was supposed to do, and it really doesn't look horrible. You can have a lot of fun with both of these. If you're going to buy one, I will say just get this one. This is the one you want. As much as the ROTJ original one came out, was useful to me, and again, I did not pay for that. It was a gift to me when I bought my Ruby Supreme Vader costume. Unless you're going to hack it up, I don't see the point in having one. Or unless you wanted to simply display it backwards and display the interface. You could do that too. But really, this one is a superior model. Buy this one. So let's put this back the way I had originally... Do I even want to do that? Because it looks so nice. I mean, even with the two-tone... I will have to gunmetal this up. There really isn't a way around it. I'm going to have to do that. Oh, what a pain in my ass that I'm going to have to do that. But it is what it is. I really like this extra neck piece on there. It looks really, really good. But I really love... If I could just take this off without completely breaking it. Because the problem with hacking it up is it's not exactly as sturdy as it once was. As you can see, it's flimsy. So you really do need to leave it attached when you can. Because again, this and this aren't connected. I'm still trying to come up with, is there a way I can connect a piece of plastic back here? It'll just kind of hold it in place. But if we reattach it back to its original piece, it just adds a little bit more stability to it. So, and again, it has that sort of ROTJ bottom, but that minimal neck never worked for me. It was cool that we got it, and I was so thrilled, but once they upgraded it and made the change and said, well, the bottom's now going to look like this, I just knew that I was going to have to get my hands on one. So let's take Obi-Wan Shatter Jones out of here. Put your helmet back on. Move him out of the way. And let's go ahead and see another piece of Obi-Wan. Let's take a moment and just really quickly look at the back of these. So, bottom is the newest one. Top is the OG. They are the same mold. They are the same components. You can see that the OG has just that really nice standout gold. One is upside down.
Upside down.
I actually don't know which is right side up and upside down. I will have to go check on that. But they are the same. They're exactly the same. They're exactly identical on inside and outside. So I'll pick the one that I like the most and put that on the primary one that I wear, which will be the damaged one. But again, just the vocabulators on this stick up nice and tall. The additional wiring sticks up so nice. It sits on your face really, really well. Sit on my face and tell me that you love me. I just couldn't be happier with this upgrade. Maybe if the gold was a little more high contrast, but we're nitpicking at this point. It's an upgrade. It's definitely worth it. Yeah, love the helmet. Buy it. I think it's great. Fully endorsed. I'm going to put the original components all back on. And as I said, I do have an EFX coming, and I will do a video with the Ruby Supreme, the EFX, and this one, all next to each other so you can compare them. This is probably the one that I will put on the EFX and make that a thing. But really, really just love how this looks. This will paint up really nice on the inside. But the shape is pretty good. You don't even really care that this is too wide. It does really have a nice feel to it. If you wanted these tusks a little bit more silver, a little Molto Chrome will solve that problem. If I had a gripe, it's that they didn't make any upgrades to the lid. The lid is very thin in the walls when you want there to be that thickness that like the EFX has. This is not very pronounced. You'd want that, and of course there's the pour spout up top, so there's that impression up top, which is just not what you want, ideally. So again, that is your Darth Vader Black Series Obi-Wan style new upgraded premium Black Series, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's a nice profile. It's a nice display. You could do a triple tier display. You could do a reverse display. I don't think this is a bad way to display it. When you compare it to the original, which has some of its flaws, again, you're looking at the same mold but maximized with just a little bit of upgrade. So when people say that they don't spend time making new things or they just rehash the same old stuff, they don't. They make changes where they need to be changed. That new bottom, that new sculpt, that smaller grille here, the new lenses, and that improved interior where they just did a little bit more care with the type of plastic that they use to make it elevate just a little bit better, really matters. And it makes a big difference. And whereas this is very plain Jane when you normally look at it, it looks a little bit like a toy with that monotone color scheme and that extra large grille on the bottom. This looks more high-end. This displays nicer. It looks less toy and more Vader. That neck profile is a big part of the Vader helmet. And so by having that, it really does decrease how incorrect this looks with how wide it is. So I think it makes a big difference. I think it's a really good upgrade. And again, if you have an old one, make yourself a quarterized helmet because it looks really sexy. But this will be the only bottom piece I use when I'm wearing the costume, 100%. Even when I'm wearing this, I'm going to use that. So I am going to have to go in and duotone what's left of the Obi-Wan to make that work. But man, I can't tell you how happy I am with this upgrade that they did. They did a great job. They literally changed almost everything I would have preferred them to change, with the exception of the lid. And it just screams Vader, but man alive. I mean, you just get this great Vader feel out of this helmet. And this one has, again, even though it's the same mold, you just are lacking something with this. Even if I tilt it up in the same fashion that that one is, there is something lacking from that. There's just something that isn't quite there, that feels missing, that that one has. So if you want my opinion, hack yours up and make yourself a nice damaged Vader Obi-Wan, or you could do the Ahsoka battle and just do the other eye and do a little smaller hack, or do a custom version. Because it has the sound effects and you can make it have the labored breathing, I think that'd be a great effect for a con. I think this would be a great means of doing this no matter how you want to do it. And the fact that it has all that detail means you can have various layers of this displayed with no worries. And and make your costume unique. You could really go in there and do any Vader you want. You could do Force Unleashed battle damaged Vader. You could do comic book battle damaged Vader. I've seen a few of those. But really, if you are going to do just the vocabulator with a mask, you want this one. This is the better vocabulator. This sits better. This looks better. If you're doing exposed ROTJ Sebastian Shaw Vader, this is the better Vader. If you're going to put a 3D printed Sebastian Shaw or Hayden Christensen in the helmet and just have the vocabulator, this is the one you want. You want the new one. But if you can get the old one at a good price, I do really suggest hacking it up. And you know what? If you don't want to hack it up, hit me up below. I'll do it for you. It's a one-day project. All I have to do is fit you into my schedule. I won't charge an arm and a leg to do it. So if you want to get your Vader helmet all hacked up for Obi-Wan style, I'd be happy to help you out. You can hit me up below. As I said, please don't smash my buttons. They're very, very delicate. But if you want to gingerly touch the tip of the like or the subscribe, I appreciate it. It lets me know that these are the kinds of videos I should spend more time on. But also, I appreciate the fact that if you are subscribed, you get notified when I actually do a video. It's random. It's random when I do a video. So there's just no regular videos with me. They happen whenever the hell I have time and whenever I have something to do a video on. And so with that randomness, the alert will help you stay on top of when I release something new, particularly if you're looking for evolution of my Vader costume, because that's going to be, over the summer, what a lot of the random videos are. Upgrades with the new gloves. If you saw my previous video with Kurt's unboxing, then you know I have a bunch more parts to put on that costume. We're going to do videos on all those upgrades. So if you don't want to miss any of that, it would be ideal for you to have the alerts. But like I said, I'm making these videos whether I have 1 subscriber or 1,000. They're more so for me, so I can go back and look at them later. So thanks a lot for checking this Darth Vader themed Black Series video out with the comparison and for the interchangeability. So thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a good day, And remember, if you can't build it, buy it. If you can't buy it, build it. But you know what? Sometimes to get what you want, you really should do both.